So, Mexico, Latin America's second largest economy, has experienced periods of growth and stability, often showcasing its potential as an emerging market. However, it continues to grapple with significant economic challenges that hinder its ability to fully capitalize on its strengths. These challenges include persistent poverty and inequality, a sluggish economic growth, external vulnerabilities, and institutional weakness. In this video, we'll dive deeper into these issues to provide a comprehensive understanding of the economic hurdles facing Mexico today. Now, despite being classified as an upper middle income country, Mexico faces persistent poverty and widespread income inequality. As of 2022, approximately 36% of the population, which is nearly 47 million people, lived in poverty, while 7% of the population, over 9 million individuals, faced extreme poverty. While these figures represent some improvement from previous years, the issue still remains at large. Poverty disproportionately affects rural areas, indigenous populations, and women, highlighting the systemic inequalities entrenched in Mexican society. Income inequality further highlights this issue. The wealthiest 10% of Mexicans control nearly 36% of the nation's resources, while the bottom 10% have access to just 1.3%. Bridging these gaps requires targeted policies that address not just income redistribution, but also access to more education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. Mexico's economy has long struggled with slow and uneven growth, which hampers its ability to compete on a global scale. From 1980 to 2022, the country's economy grew at an average annual rate of just over 2%, a figure well below what is needed to significantly reduce poverty or close the development gap with high-income nations. While Mexico's GDP growth in 2023 reached 3.2%, the first half of 2024 saw a slowdown to 1.8%, reflecting the broader challenges of sustaining growth after a post-pandemic rebound. This sluggish performance stems from a combination of factors, including low productivity, limited domestic and foreign investment, and underdeveloped infrastructure in key areas such as transportation and energy. Now, as one of the most globally integrated economies in Latin America, Mexico is heavily dependent on international trade, particularly with the United States, which accounts for nearly 80% of its exports. This dependency makes Mexico highly vulnerable to external shocks, including changes in U.S. trade policies, global economic slowdowns, and geopolitical tensions. The potential for increased tariffs from the U.S. possesses a significant threat. For instance, President-elect Donald Trump has proposed a 25% tariff on Mexican goods, which could add substantial costs to Mexican exports and disrupt trade relations. Such measures would significantly increase costs for Mexican exporters and could lead to some job losses in sectors like automotive, which employs over 800,000 workers directly. Additionally, fluctuations in the global economy and changes in trade policies can negatively impact Mexico's export-driven sectors. While some companies are relocating production to Mexico to reduce reliance on Asia, this trend also increases competition among other developing nations. And without substantial improvements to the infrastructure, workforce training, and ease of doing business, Mexico may struggle to fully capitalize on some of these opportunities. Mexico's economic challenges are compounded by institutional weaknesses, including corruption, policy instability, and weak rule of law. According to the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, also known as the TICP, Mexico ranks among the most corrupt countries in Latin America. This corruption not only deters foreign investment, but also ruins public trust in government institutions. In 2024, Moody's downgraded Mexico's outlook to negative, citing institutional weakness and policy deterioration that threaten economic stability and government finances. And for context, Moody's is involved in detailed analysis of financial data and economic conditions. They are one of the quote-unquote big three credit rating agencies. Issues such as rising government spending, a widening fiscal deficit, and proposed constitutional changes that could erode checks and balances contribute to concerns about the country's economic governance. Furthermore, ongoing violence and organized crime further undermine economic stability. In 2023, Mexico recorded over 30,000 homicides, many linked to drug cartels. This climate of insecurity affects businesses, discourages tourism, and creates additional costs for companies operating in these high-risk areas. So, to wrap it up, Mexico's economic challenges are quite complex, consisting of persistent poverty and inequality, slow economic growth, external vulnerabilities, and institutional weaknesses. These issues not only hinder Mexico's ability to achieve sustained economic development, but also limit its potential to emerge as a global economic leader. Addressing these challenges requires bold and comprehensive reforms. By confronting these issues head-on, Mexico can clear a path forward toward a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable economy. But the number one issue that Mexico needs to fix is the corruption and the violence, which on paper is a lot easier said than done. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps me out and lets me know that you're interested in seeing more of my content. Also, if you have any thoughts or questions about the video, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. I always love hearing from you guys and getting your feedback on how I can improve myself. Thank you.